So, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello everyone, welcome to the first introductory session on blockchain technology in IEM Coding Club. So here I am Prajesh Seth. Is something? The sound is breaking. Sorry, you are not audible. Please use the chat box. Actually, you are not properly audible.
Sir, you are actually audible right now.
Okay, okay. If someone wants to say something, that's why. Okay, कोई बात नहीं. तो बोलना है तो chat में बोल दो ना. Post है. So basically, this is the introductory session on the blockchain technology in IEM Coding Club. So here I am Prajesh Shen, the blockchain and web3 IEM Coding Club. So this session will be hosted by me and Suchit and Raihan. So today we'll be discussing on the topic that is what is actually meaning of the blockchain and what's its right now the emerging technology and what is the key elements of the blockchain. So what type of platform we will be used in the latter on the which stack we have to use to build the blockchain based applications, etc. We'll be discussing here. So basically, this will be the introductory session, and we won't dive into the deep code concepts and we will discuss those stuffs later in the upcoming. There will be a lot of sessions regarding the crypto based applications in the projects, and we will build the apps in our own hand. Those particular basically that's the point. And first slide. So here, what is a blockchain? So the blockchain is a data structure which is a growing list of the data blocks. Data blocks are linked together. Blocks cannot be removed. So to merge here, we have the some bookish definitions here, like that. Blockchain is a constantly growing ledger that keeps a permanent record of all transactions that have taken place in a secure, chronological, and immutable way. It can be used for secure transfer of money without requiring any third-party intermediates such as Navodo. So basically, let's break down the points. So what is ledger? So ledger is a file. Now, please understand it as a file as you are from the first year and second year student. After knowing the DBMS, it will be in your third year, I guess, because you are in 2025-26 batches, I guess. So if you know the database, DBMS, indexing, caching, all the things, and use a SQL, NoSQL database, and if you for web development, then you will understand properly what is the actual meaning of the ledger. So now for the time being, let's consider it as a file, and it is a file that is constantly. So next, the term is permanent. So what is the meaning of the permanent? So basically, it means once this transaction goes inside the blockchain, you can put up it permanent to that particular ledger and secure. So why blockchain is so much secure? If you know some deep into dive into web development, then this point is coming about the network security. We have to secure our network, we have to secure our transactions, password, hashing, all the things are there. But here we have to consider blockchain is a more secure thing rather than other cryptographic cryptographic technologies because blockchain is the more secure. It's information. Blockchain plays the information in a secure way. It uses very advanced cryptographic algorithm to make sure that the info is locked inside those particular blocks. And it's a chronological. What is the meaning of the chronology? So chronological is the meaning of the timestamp. So basically, chronological meaning the timestamp, and chronological means the timestamp which is in that particular time the block is already created, and the block will be shared one by one in the another direction in the forward direction, basically. So let us consider a simple thing. Just a simple question to the audience. Do you know about the client server architecture of the database? Please someone say. Know about the client server architecture of the database?
Yes,
What
sir.
does so what does it mean?
Sir, it is certainly it's like when one computer, the computers are called hosts in a network. So since it's a part of network, I'm calling when one node wants to receive an information from the server, that server first receives the request and then only it fulfills the request of the node which has asked for some resource from that other computer at the server.
Actually, those are the HTTP requests, right? If you know about the GET request,
Yes,
GET
yes,
request, POST
HTTP.
request, right? So
Yeah.
basically, this is the thing. So when we request with server, particular server, then server get a response according to the particular request. Okay. So in this case, blockchain don't allow or favor these types of client server database because you have already mentioned that here some clients are our PCs, computers, mobiles, all the things, and a secular server is there. That will be three-tier architecture, two-tier architecture. A lot of stuffs are there. I don't discuss it right now because it's a too much. It's a short time period. But when the server is come into the place, in that particular time, there will be a centralized database because in that server all data are stored into that particular server and we fetch those data according to our will, according to our works, then the centralized database will be accessed. But here blockchain don't allow that particular centralized database system. Here it is the peer-to-peer network connection. So in the rough term, what does it mean by the peer-to-peer? Can anyone say what does it mean the peer-to-peer network?
So P2P network it is.
Yeah, peer-to-peer means P2P network.
It's like
So
everybody can receive each other's resources.
uh, that's somehow it's a controversial. If you go to the private and public blockchain, the validators will be only received only if we can constrain those things. Who can receive? Uh, who can receive and who can send the request? But in the another thing, all the peer-to-peer network means all the devices connected into the peer-to-peer network maintains the same architecture, same data integrity, same integrity constants. Actually, that term will be there, integrity constants. And in the MySQL, if you use the MySQL database and SQL database right now, actually you are from first year student, so this thing will be not covering into your part, but it will be there that the integrity constant, data integrity. So if you don't aware of the data integrity, still into that peer-to-peer network, the data will remains their inheritance and even their integrities. So that's the main concept. Blockchain is so much secure and so much authentic right now. So basically, those terms are already involved into our blockchain technologies. And let's dive into the another part. So how the blockchain network is or blockchain concept has come. So before that, here the data blocks, the diagrams of the data blocks are written here. Here the data values and here the reference. Data values pointing to the particular references and again pointing to the particular. So here it's a kind of a pointer system. Do you know about the pointer or linked list concept in the DSA, in the particular DSA courses? You have already go through that particular concept. What is the pointer concept and what is the linked list concept, right? So basically here the is the in this particular pointer concept, one address is points to the another block's data and same one address is points to another data. So that's why the total blocks are linked with each other and maintains the peer-to-peer network. So here the in the main cases when data entries into first block, it cannot be changed in any of the progressing blocks because it will be immutable, right? Because when data enters into the first block, it cannot be changed into other some progressing blocks because when data entries that this will be immutable and the data cannot be changed into further. That's why it's so much authentic, and in the future days, the banking transactions or some governments transaction, governments contracts will be based on this blockchain. That's why it's so much emerging right now. So basically, what is the basic concept, main core concept behind the blockchain technology? Why the blockchain technology? People think about the blockchain. Why these links? Why the chain link? Why the supply chains has come into the market? So this is the questions. This is the problem actually that's faced. Suppose you are transferring money to your family or friends from your bank account. You would log in online banking and transfer the amount to the other person using their account number. When the transaction is done, your bank updates the transaction records. And it seems so simple, but actually you use the payment gateway. That may be the Razor Pay payment gateway, that may be other like payment gateway, like it's a Paytm payment gateway, a lot of payment gateway are there into the market. So we use a third party. When payment transaction is completed, it uses as the third party, some third party agents. That's the main problem. When the third party comes into the field, the payment procedure will not be authentic. So that's why blockchain can cover these types of things and reduce the third party's agents. So to avoid the third party agents, we use the blockchain technology. And rather than another thing is that key when like the digital assets, you know about the digital assets. What is the type of digital assets? Do you know if anyone know about the digital assets? Hello, am I audible?
Sir, don't know, no idea.
अच्छा तो एक्चुअली डिजिटल एसेट कहते हैं जो both types of digital asset present there, tangible and non-tangible. Tangible means it's a kind of a property which can owned by a company, and non-tangible it's kind of a coupon code, cash like that. So something
এই দাঁড়া আমার মাইক্রোফোনটা এই দাঁড়া দাঁড়া
so okay. Please from
Hello,
please continue.
Prajak
Hello,
bhi.
hello, hello. Yes, sir.
I hope you guys are actually understanding, because blockchain is actually really fun. So you just need to stick a bit with us, and everything will make sense in a bit of time. And right now, I think too much of text is there on your screen, so that is why it might happen to look like very complicated stuff. But blockchain is not. It's very simple. You just need to understand a few concepts. So just to break down what Project Bhaiya said right now, I'll be sharing my screen and showing you what I'll just keep it very simple so that you guys can understand what actually it is. So Project Bhaiya, can you just allow me to share my screen?
Okay, all right. Please.
Just a second. Is my screen full?
Yes, Rehan,
Hello?
it's visible.
Yeah, okay. I need you guys to be a bit interactive with me, otherwise we'll not understand whether you guys are understanding anything or not. So we'll not go into the definition stuff, what blockchain is and what not. Let's keep it our way, okay? Blockchain is an immutable ledger. What do you understand by an immutable ledger? That means once written, it cannot be deleted. Okay? Take it like you have an exercise copy. Every day you are saving, suppose 100 rupees for something. Okay. So once you save 100 rupees, you're writing that, but you can't delete that. Okay. It's kind of a blackboard where you can only write, but you cannot delete anything. So this is the biggest advantage that blockchain has. That is why big tech giants use blockchain for security purposes. Since once written, it cannot be written. That's why it's called an immutable ledger. Okay. Now let's understand what are the key components of a blockchain. There are basically 4 key components of a block, not a blockchain. Blockchain is a chain of blocks, right? So every block has 4 key components. That is the hash of the previous block, the hash of the previous block, the hash of the current block, the data, and the nonce. Okay, we'll be talking about everything in detail. Just don't panic right now. Nonce we'll be talking about in the last, data also. So what is actually the hash? What actually is this hash thing? Okay, right now, see, every block has these 4 key components. It's similar in all the blocks, these 4 key components. Now what happens is that the previous block means this thing will point towards the previous block, and this thing will point towards the previous block. So before going into the hash of the previous block, we need to understand what's a hash. A hash is basically a hexadecimal code generated for the data that you've given. Okay, it is, I'll show you guys an example. Say, suppose I'm writing an input over here. IEM Coding Club. Okay. Now this is the hash generated for the text that I've given. Now just give a look over here. In the end, we have 890DA. If I just put a full stop over here, the whole hash changes. See, in the end, now we have 385. Can you see the difference? This is called avalanche effect. That means even one single full stop, a space, or any single change in the content or in the data changes the entire hash. Now, how will this thing help? Say I have written some data in this block. Okay. For simplicity purposes, I have written my name and my college name, my roll number, enrollment number, all the stuff in this data in this block. And then I have written my social media links in this block. Now, if someone tries to change the links over here, the hash of the current block, that is this thing here, the hash of the current block will change, because right now we saw if even a single dot is added to the data, then the whole hash changes. This hash will change. That means the link will be broken. The link that is present here, it will be broken. Since these 2 blocks are linked via this pointer that is pointing towards the previous block. Try to understand this thing. Okay, hash of the current block means whatever data you have given in the block, a hash is generated for that data, and it is stored in the same block. Okay, hash of the previous block is basically the hash that was generated for the data present in the previous block, and it is stored. So if I change the data in this block particularly, then this current block's hash will change, and this will not match with the previous block's hash over here. So this link will be broken. Are you guys getting what I'm trying to say? Can anyone just unmute and, like, if you guys have any kind sort of doubt, we'll obviously clear that in the end, maybe.
Guys,
Or
it will be really very enjoying if you try to be very interactive. Like, if you ask questions, then only we can answer, right? Or you can use the chat box.
Yeah, can you please repeat?
Can you please repeat it again?
Yeah, sure. See, every block has these 4 things: the hash of the previous block, the hash of the current block, the data of the block, and the nonce. Forget about the nonce right now. Okay, what is a hash right now? I told hash is a hexadecimal code generated for the data that you've given. And the biggest advantage of a hash is that it cannot be reverse engineered. That means if I give you some data, like if I give you a text, simple text, IEM Coding Club, if you generate a hash for that and you give it to someone, that person cannot generate back the text from the hash. It cannot be reverse engineered. It can never be reverse engineered. If any person cracks the hashing mechanism, that means if any person can reverse the hash successfully, then just get this, that the whole internet will crash. Not just blockchain, not just Web3, but the whole entire internet will crash, because this hashing mechanism is used very widely everywhere. I'll tell you guys a bit about it in a bit of time. Just give me some time. So right now, these are the 4 key components of a block: hash of the previous block, hash of the current block. Now what happens is that you give some data over here. Okay, you write some data over here, and for that data, a hash is generated. Let's say I have given a data that is my name. Okay, a hash will be generated for this data. It will be stored over here. Let's say the hash is FD79E200842, something like that. If I add a full stop, just a full stop to this data, the whole hash will change. Okay, the entire hash will change. Not even a single digit or single letter will remain similar in the same place. So this is the hash of the current block. This will be 00 for the first block. Since the first block doesn't have any previous block, so this hash will be 00. Okay. And this is nonce. Let's not talk about it right now. We'll talk about when the mining comes in. Now, let's say I have another block in the blockchain. Now see, here is the key part, how the blockchain is immutable, how the immutability thing works. Here in the previous block section, this is the previous block section, previous block hash. This same hash is present. Okay, now if I change anything here, this hash will change, right? Just now I told you this is called the avalanche effect. Adding or deleting any single piece of content will change the entire hash. This hash will change, but this hash will not change. This hash will not change. Why this will not change? Because this hash is present here. It's not referenced there. It's copied there. That means one copy is present here. One copy is present here. So adding or deleting any data to this content will change the hash. Now the hash will change. That means this hash and this hash will not match, right? If this hash and that hash don't match, the entire blockchain will be broken. This link will get broken, right? Do you understand?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I'm adding another data over here. Let's say I'm adding Prajakth Bhaiya's name. Okay, this will generate another set of hash. Let's say F932E hash 2, whatever it is. Okay, here the previous block will be here in this blockchain. The previous hash will be this, and in the next blockchain, in the next block, the previous hash will be this. So you get this thing. Every subsequent block will contain the hash of the previous block, so that if the data is tampered with, if the data is changed in any of the block, the hash will change and the entire link will be broken. This is how immutability in a blockchain is achieved, because otherwise it's impossible to achieve immutability in any entity on the internet. This is the only, actually this is a very fascinating thing if you see it from an angle. No one could have ever thought about how this hashing mechanism works and how it could be used to link things together and to create something that is tamper proof. Okay.
What if we change the first data after adding the second data?
If you change the data in the first block, this hash will change. This hash will obviously change. This is the hash of the current block. So whatever data is present in the block as of now, the hash depends entirely on that. If you change the data in the block, this hash will change. This hash will not tally with this hash. You know this condition, right? If A equals to B.
I know this. I have one question. Okay, if we change the data in one of the blocks, then how does the other block like react to it? What does it do when
The
it
link
finds
will
that?
simply be broken. The link
So,
will simply be broken.
And as a
No
result, some
reaction, there's no action. The link will be broken and the entire blockchain will it will no more be considered as a blockchain. Try to understand. Okay, since the blocks are linked to the blocks, it's a chain of blocks that are linked via this whole hash thing. Okay, so if you change any data, the hash will change and the link will be broken. The first block in a blockchain is called a genesis block. Yes, remember, these are just small terminologies. Okay, now enough about the blocks in a blockchain. Now let's talk about the hashing mechanism. If you guys noticed, I just went into the browser and entered this SHA-256. Now what is this? What is SHA-256? Can anyone of you tell me, like, if you have any idea about it? Okay, I'm assuming no one knows about it. So basically SHA-256 stands for secure hash algorithm, and the 256 is the number of bytes. Like it can be SHA-512, it could be SHA-128. Right now SHA-256 is used widely, and SHA-512 is used for even more secure transactions and stuff. So SHA-256 was developed by the National Security Agency of America. This is actually a hashing mechanism, which I just told you guys right now, that if you enter a text, it will hash the entire thing, but it cannot be reverse engineered. That is the key point of a hashing. Okay. If I tell you guys, like, how do you think your passwords are stored in any of the tech companies or in any app? They say that they don't breach your privacy, right? But if they store your password, then that is the breach of privacy. This is what takes place there. When you're entering your login username and password, the username is stored in the database, but the password is not stored in the raw format. The password is first hashed using a hashing algorithm, and then the hash of the password is stored. So even if they have the hash, they cannot dehash it. Okay, it's like encryption, but there is no decryption to it. There's only one way you can get back to the text, that is if you already know the original text. So say suppose password, this is a word. The hash of this word will be something, say A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You cannot dehash this thing. You cannot reverse engineer, right? You cannot get back from here to here. But if you know this word, if some of your acquaintances, some of your friends or relatives know this word, if they try to hash this again this same hash will come. That means hash is unique to the.
So for a particular sequence or for a particular string, there is a unique hash, and
there's a unique hash for every particular set of sequence of strings, characters. Okay. So every time you enter the same, let me just show you, for example.
Yeah, can you show on GitHub? It would be better.
This was IEM Coding Club dot. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hash for this ends with 9E385 and it starts with AB. Now I'll try to write something else here. This is a different hash. Now if I again try to enter the same hash that we entered.
IEM Coding Club dot. Yeah.
Coding Club dot. Just check the hash once again. It's E385 and starts with an AB. Okay.
Now these are more clearer.
Yeah, these are all the hashing mechanisms that are present. CRC16, CRC32, SHA-256, SHA-384, SHA-5. There are hundreds of hashing mechanisms, but SHA-256 is the most widely used hashing mechanism as of now.
Okay, in order to hash, the system is following some order, right?
Now,
like some mechanism.
How a string is hashed, I particularly don't know.
No, but human beings know. We can say human beings know because human beings only develop.
See, to dehash, to reverse engineer a hash, you will require quantum computing, and it's not actually possible. But just get this simple thing that a hash cannot be reverse engineered.
Reversed, okay.
So we'll move forward with this thing. For a hash, there are basically five.
Rohan, it's just a simple interruption. Actually, the point which I already told that guy कि हाँ एक कर सकते हैं हम एक्चुअली हैश पे 256 क्या करते हैं इससे 64 कैरेक्टर्स वाला स्ट्रिंग जनरेट करते हैं ना तो एक्चुअली
हाँ,
इट्स 256 बिट कैरेक्टर स्ट्रिंग ओके तो
right,
बेसिकली जो बोल रहे हैं सीआरसी बहुत सारे लॉट ऑफ एल्गोरिथम्स आर देयर cryptographic algorithms are there to convert to generate a encrypted coding string. So basically, the 512 is a mother string. The length of the string is 512. The 512 bits is the mother string. Then it will be shortened to the particular 256 bit. That's our SHA-256. If we convert 256 to 512, again its mother form. Then if you apply the reverse engineer process, then you may successful, but it's too difficult and too hectic, and the hackers cannot find the actual result.
now
So
I got it that why everybody is considering this. Now I got that.
512 to 256 conversion, then you have to convert it 256 to 512 bit conversion.
And then
the
from there I
reverse
need to
engineering is
decode it.
done, then will be the actual value. If you can go in internet like that ki, encryption decryption is simple Python program. Then you have to use the bcrypt.js and react.js. If you use the react.js, the bcrypt password hashing like that. So if you use the MD5, then you can also go for that. So basically, that is the thing. If you go the 256 bit to 512 bit and go for, then do the reverse engineering, you may find the solution. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's pretty much clear right now.
Yeah, this part is
So-
clear completely.
There's we just talked about the immutable ledger, right? Okay, I missed one important terminology. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
So I missed one important terminology in the beginning and no one noticed it. That is, a blockchain is a decentralized, not a decentralized, actually it's a distributed immutable ledger. So what do you mean by distributed or decentralized? Okay, so before that, we'll try to understand it with an example. Every one of you know here how real estate works, right? You buy a property, you get a deed. The deed is the proof of you owning that property, right? But what if the deed gets lost, or the deed is destroyed by some means, or it gets stolen? Then you will particularly have no proof that that property particularly belongs to you, right? So for this purpose, you can say this is where the immutable ledger thing comes in. Blockchain comes in. A blockchain, obviously blockchain is digitally stored, and the major key point of it is that it is distributed, it is decentralized. That means it has no central authority. What do you mean by a central authority? Let me give you a very simple example. Everybody knows about Wikipedia, right? All the information in the world is available in the Wikipedia. What if the Wikipedia goes down? Tell me. How will you find about celebrities? How will you find about personalities, important person? What if the Wikipedia server is taken down by the government of our country itself? We reside in the country of India, right? So if the government decides to take down Wikipedia server, what will you do? That means all the data is lost along with Wikipedia, right?
Yeah, no access will be there. We cannot recover it.
This is how the centralized thing works. That means there is a centralized authority, there is a centralized server. That means government has access to it. Government can ban it anytime, right? But the blockchain doesn't work that way. Blockchain is decentralized. It has no central authority. It requires a consensus to function. It requires a majority votes to function. Okay, we'll not get into much terminology, otherwise it might get confusing for you. I'm trying to keep it simple so you guys understand and it's fun for you guys. Okay, so this is how the decentralized thing works, and distributed is that all the nodes present in a blockchain. That means, let's say I created a blockchain, and then there are 4 nodes there. Myself, Prajak Bhaiya, Suchita Di, and say suppose an IEM Coding Club account is there, and is also a node in the blockchain. So what will happen is that all the data present in the blockchain as of now, currently, will be downloaded in all the 4 nodes. That means a copy of the blockchain will be downloaded, so that if any of the hacker tries to change any data in any one of the blockchain and if he manages to change the data in any one of the blockchain, there will be 3 more copies of the similar blockchain to verify whether the data is legit or not. You're getting my point, right? We'll come to the consensus thing. It's
Yes.
all about the consensus thing. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was. You were telling that 2 sets of the same strings have the same hash, right?
Similar strings have the similar hash. Yeah. Similar
Yeah, so-
means it is case sensitive. It is even.
Yeah,
if
I
you-
understood that.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
was telling that if 2 different blocks have the same string, fully same, so they both will have the same hash.
Yeah.
So if one block has previous hash as that, and the hash matches with both the blocks, so which one will it point to?
If one block has the previous hash and
If one block has the previous hash which matches with both the hashes of these 2 blocks, so which one will it point to?
it doesn't matter. If you are changing the data, the hash will change. That is what matters. The hash will change and it will no more be similar to the hash present in the next block. It
No,
is
no,
like
I'm not asking
what
that.
I'm
I'm
saying.
asking that
If
2
I'm saying
blocks have the same hash and one block has that hash as the previous block's hash. So which block will it point to?
2 blocks
Firstly,
can't have
how
the
can
same
2
hash
blocks
because
have same hash?
Because they contain the same data.
No, no, no. That's not
but
the
they
right
also have
thing.
reference to
Actually,
the last block.
I'll tell you, wait. I am giving a very simple example that we are storing the name and stuff, but blockchain doesn't function that way. We generally store transactions, and in that on that basis, generally the hashes are never the same in the blocks.
Acha.
Just a
All right,
minute, Rohit, actually,
Just for demonstration purposes, I was keeping it simple, storing name and string so that you guys can understand better.
All right.
After that, we'll come to P2P network. Someone here said about P2P network, right? Peer-to-peer network.
Yes.
just a minute. A little introduction. So
Yeah,
basically, the question is arising कि actually why the same data same hash is not the right thing, because the array, if you consider the array data structure, right? So array data structure में क्या होते हैं? मान लो array data structure को पहले array data structure में क्या होते हैं? हर जो array input का अलग अलग address होते हैं, like if you the 2 integer भी 4 integer, तो तुम if you consider the array, the 2 is the same. First array element is 2, second element भी 2. लेकिन एड्रेस की सेम है, मेमोरी एड्रेस तो अलग अलग है, लाइक अंडरस्टैंड द पॉइंट. इफ यू कंसीडर 2 इसके एरे, तो 2 द सेम डेटा कंटेंट डेटा एलिमेंट्स ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर एरे, बट द डिफरेंस इज की द हर जो एरे का पोजीशन है उसका पोजीशन अलग है, उसका एड्रेस अलग है.
Memory address doesn't depend on the data, na?
Yes, that's the same thing is doing in the blockchain. The
But
same
hash
data is
depends
not
on the
having
data.
same hash. No, the same thing is not like that. Okay, hash is just like the position, the link position, the blockchain link position. The
Acha.
each block has the same hash address, own address, and mapping to the previous block address. So basically, contains 2 address, own address and previous blocks address. That's the thing. कि जो own address होगा वो कभी से कभी same नहीं हो सकता.
Acha.
Because it's just like the link, the internal address of that particular chain link.
Means just like linked list.
Yes, just like the linked list and pointers, because that's the pointer and linked list is too much attributed blockchain concept.
All right.
Okay, so now let's come to the P2P network thing. I'll be very brief with it. I just told you guys about the decentralized thing, right? How there's no central server, there's no central authority, right? But how this thing works? Basically, decentralized thing works on the basis of peer-to-peer network. The blockchain is stored in a peer-to-peer network where computers are connected over a network. Okay, and I just told you that a blockchain, a copy of the blockchain is downloaded in all the nodes present in that peer-to-peer network, right? Now let's suppose a hacker tampers with the data in a block and successfully changes all the data after that block. That is the only way you can hack a blockchain. You can change data in that blockchain. That is the only way. You need, if you are changing data over here, then you need to change data in all the consequent blocks. And just for the record, I have drawn only 3 blocks, but in a blockchain there aren't 3 blocks, right? There are 3 millions and billions of blocks. So you can understand how tough of a job it is to change all the subsequent blocks, right? But if a hacker somehow manages to change all the data of all the subsequent blocks, then what? To overcome that thing, we have a copy of blockchain downloaded in all the nodes, right? So a consensus will be there. That is, the data on the majority computers will be checked. So the data in the majority computers is correct. That means if 4 out of 5 computers have similar data, but one computer has some other data, then that means the 4 data that is present in the 4 computers is the correct data, and the one that is present in some other computer, that is a false data, that has been tampered with. This is how basically blockchain works. And to legally hack a blockchain, there's only one way you can technically legally hack a blockchain. That is, you need to get hold of more than 50% of the blockchain of the nodes present in the blockchain. More than 50%. That means if you have 10,000 nodes present in a blockchain, that means you have to get hold of 5,001 nodes. Okay, I think I'm very clear with that thing. Now I'll just conclude my whole thing with just the last thing that we missed out here, that is the nonce. So what is a nonce? Nonce is basically, nonce stands for number used only once. Number used only once. So what it is that, see, the data present in a block is not in our control. It's the transactions, right? The block hash is not in our control, and the previous block hash is also not in our control. So there's no way we can control a block. There's only one way, that is the nonce. Nonce is basically nonce can be changed freely, and that helps us to manipulate the hash of the block. As I told you, the current hash of this block, that is this hash, depends on the data present in the block, and the data also includes the nonce, right? So if we change the nonce, if we change even a single number in the nonce, the whole hash will change. This nonce helps in mining. I'll hand over the mic to Prajakta right now so that he can explain you nonce a bit better way. Prajakta.
हाँ एक्चुअली एक बंदा मेरे को पूछ रहा है डीएम में which is more authentic, quantum cryptography or blockchain. Actually people please try to understand what is the basic difference between cryptography and blockchain. Blockchain is the growing database and cryptography is the key which can secure a database. Please try to understand. And quantum cryptography is a very high hot thing. Actually, it's we are don't discussing about this type of rocket science like that thing. We are simply want to make you people understand what is the actual purpose of blockchain. Okay, so yeah, qubits can hack the wo jo bol rahe SHA 256 can do the reverse algorithm, reverse engineering to hack the hash of the blockchain. But don't use the term what is why we can use. No, we are not using the quantum cryptography over blockchain. Okay, so try to differentiate between the basic difference between cryptography and blockchain. हमको blockchain use करना है to secure the data, to just secure the transactions, and cryptography is a way to make the encryption of that proper data. Okay, so basically qubits are totally now it's a hypothetical thing, and it's a lot of research work that there. Actually, we have also BTech students. So that's the main thing, is a lot of research was going on into the qubits, and it's a little bit impossible for us to answer this type of questions. What is the actual meaning of the qubits and what is the actual purpose of quantum cryptography? So
I'll just continue with nonce, and also right now, see, in the introductory session, it's very difficult to cover all the topics, and we don't want to cover all the topics intentionally, because on the first day itself, if you try to learn everything about blockchain, then you're just gonna end up learning nothing, right? So IEM Coding Club
Yes,
will be
that's the
hosting a
thing.
boot camp very soon. Can I get a wave of hands? How many of you are first years? A quick wave of hands.
I thought question पूछ रहा है.
And how many of you want to have a boot camp, like how to connect with MetaMask, how to work on ethers, and connecting
Yes,
your
we
websites
have quite a good
practically?
number of first years here. So just to let you guys know that we'll be having a boot camp on blockchain very soon, where we'll be having hands-on projects, where myself, Prajakta, and Suchita Di will be showing you how to write smart contracts, how to deploy it on the Ethereum network, how MetaMask works, what is Ganache, and everything. Okay, so just don't worry, don't panic. First, try to understand the basics, because see, at the end of the day, it's not, you need to know the basics so that you can understand how the whole contract is working, or how anything on the blockchain is working, right? So let's come back to the nonce thing. So as I told you, that in a block, we have nothing in our control except the nonce. The nonce is the only thing that we can change in order to vary the hash. We see we cannot change the hash. We can only vary it from time to time. Like right now, say in this block, the nonce is, let me change the color. Say in this block right now, the nonce is 0. Okay. So for 0, the hash of the block is A2B 5C 4A 56, something like that. Okay. If I change the nonce from 0 to 19 or 20, the hash will change. It will change into something like, say, EC2B F70055. You see how the hash entirely depends on the content present in the block. So nonce is the only thing that we can change or manipulate in order to vary the hash. Now, how does nonce actually help? Okay, first observe how change in 1 bit, just 1 bit of nonce is entirely changing the hash of the block. Okay, so to understand the nonce, we need to understand how mining works. So basically, what happens is that say suppose there's a how do I place it? There's this hash 18FD5A18ED. Okay. Now, what will happen is that how mining works is, what is actually mining? First, let's get to that. I'm actually missing some parts in between. What actually is mining? I think all of you know that to mine a block, you require very heavy resources. Very heavy. I mean, let's get to the facts. Bitcoin blockchain is the most energy consuming blockchain in the world. The Bitcoin blockchain is the most energy consuming blockchain in the world. That means in one day, the Bitcoin blockchain consumes as much power as it takes Las Vegas to light up in for 1 month. Electricity, I'm talking about watts, WATTS. Bitcoin blockchain is one of the most energy consuming, and the most energy efficient blockchain, I think, is Solana, if I'm not wrong. But Ethereum, all of you might have heard about.
You are absolutely right. It's a Solana block.
Ethereum is the most versatile, is the most widely used blockchain for a particular reason, because Ethereum supports smart contracts and dApps as well, that is decentralized apps. We'll talk about that in later sessions, maybe in the bootcamp or stuff. So right now you need to understand that if a miner is spending so much of resources, setting up rigs after rigs, have any of you seen any of the YouTube videos where they show the whole rigging farm, how they're mining cryptocurrency or how they're mining blocks? They have an entire farm set up. Like, let me see if I can find a picture on Google. Mining farm. It actually looks something like this. This is very hard. See, this is a perfect example of a homemade mining farm. This is how it works. Okay, these are high-end GPUs. I think they are called A6 or something like that. I'm not sure, but these are specially designed GPUs for particularly mining purposes, and they impart a lot of heat. A lot of heat. I mean, you need to install at least in this room particularly, you need to have installed at least 10 to 15 ACs to get this room cooled down, and it consumes a lot of electricity clearly. So if a miner is spending so much of heavy resources, electricity and everything, what will be the, like, why would he do that anyways? So for that purposes, there is a mining reward. That means if you are mining a block, if you're mining a block in Bitcoin blockchain, suppose. So if you have successfully mined a block, the Bitcoin blockchain will give you a reward. It could be anywhere from 1 Bitcoin to, it used to give 6 Bitcoin at a time, at one point of time in the past, but right now I don't think they can afford to give you 6 Bitcoins. But anyways, 1 Bitcoin is also enough to get you through, right? So as a token of appreciation or something, as a reward, you get that Bitcoin in any blockchain network. If you're mining a block in the Ethereum blockchain network, you get a reward. That will be Ethereum, obviously. And this actually works on the proof of work concept. That means you are showing the proof that you have worked. You have spent so much of resources to mine a block. That is the proof of your work. So for that purpose, you get a reward, right? Nonce actually is something that I do.
What does mining a block mean actually?
Prajakta, would you like to explain this to him?
Yes, yes, obviously. So actually mining, actually Rayhan already told everything. Mining, data mining, because here hashing. What is do mean? What do you mean by hashing? What actually Rohan already? Yeah. Yes. हेलो व्हाट डू मीन बाय एक्चुअली हैशिंग तो बोल सारी चीज बोल दिया वो तो तुम बोलो एक बार तुम हैशिंग के मतलब क्या समझ रहे हो एक्चुअली वो जो दिखा रहा है A6 जो जीपीयू जो माइनिंग फार्म जो दिख रहा है वो जो गूगल सर्च करके वो तो बोला तो एक्चुअली माइनिंग इज अ प्रोसेस ठीक है of sorting the large
I have a
processes.
मतलब ऐसा ही सिमिलर सा डाउट है डिजिटल चीज को माइनिंग कैसे हो रहा है तो वो बस कवर दो मतलब वो माइनिंग से होता क्या है या फिर माइनिंग मतलब व्हाट वी अंडरस्टैंड मतलब जमीन खोद के कुछ चीज निकालने का जैसा मतलब जो अभी तो लेमैन है हम लोग तो वही समझ रहे हैं
Project Bhaiya, sorry to interrupt. I'll just try to answer this in a few technical terms if I can. See, mining, you're right. Zameen khod ki kuch nikalna, that is what technically mining means. Okay, but here, right, I showed you a mining farm photo, right? Can you guys mute yourself for a minute, everyone? Right now, I showed you a photo of a mining farm, right? You saw those were custom GPUs that are built for mining. Now, what is mining? Mining is basically to mine a block, you need to solve a cryptographic puzzle. You cannot get one BTC like that. So to that purpose, you need to solve a cryptographic puzzle that is very difficult to solve, and for that purposes, custom GPU is there, which kind of does quantum computing. I would say kind of. It's not even close to it, but still, it does high calculations per second, and it tries to calculate the hash and whatever supercomputing is required. So that is what mining is. You need to solve a cryptographic puzzle in order to mine a block. That is why you require a custom GPU. You require a whole mining rig for that mining.
And the main thing is that it's a take a lot of energy. Lot of energy consumption will be there for a data mining process. Actually, data mining is the main thing. If you consider the data mining, so basically data mining, if you consider the large number of data, huge amount of data, so extracting the actual trends of the data, because if you consider the blockchain properly, so blockchain is considered with a lot of data. Okay, so blockchain, when the data goes into the particular blockchain, then the actual trends of the data, what the data wants to be understood to the other people. What is the trends of that particular data? That for that reason we can do the data mining. And here the miner algorithms will be there. Miner algorithm is implemented to mine a block or to attach a block into a blockchain system. Okay.
See, what data mining basically means is that you get a large number of data set, huge volume, humongous. That means it's impossible for a normal computer to compute it. Okay, and you try to find patterns in it. You try to find some kind of similarities in all the data, and you use all the data analysis skills to come up with a solution to a problem or something like that. So for that purposes, obviously, you require a very hi-fi sort of computer, which can do super computing. That is what data mining is, and for that purposes we require a A6 or any custom GPU or supercomputer, and it requires a lot of energy. That is why blockchain farming is not that easy. It's a difficult process. It's a resource expensive process. So you need to be very strong with the resources. But obviously there are plus points as well. There are the rewards. So this
the mining also uses the proof of work mechanism, right? Proof of work or consensus mechanism.
Yeah. So whatever resources you are spending, on that basis, that is the proof that you have mined the block. So on that basis, you get the reward.
So do people know what is actually proof of work?
No, but we'll not get into proof of work, proof of state, or anything of that.
It will be an introductory session. Proof of work, proof of stake. These protocol, consensus protocol is not discussed.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. We'll not get into proof of work, proof of state, or proof of history, anything like that today. It will be in the upcoming bootcamp sessions. Don't worry, we'll cover every single topic out of blockchain domain in the bootcamps. Okay, we'll be rolling out the forms very soon after we get the approval to include first years, and then you guys can join in for the boot camps.
So it will be like paid, right?
Can you repeat?
It will be paid, right? The boot camps?
No. Free. It will be totally free, of course. See, I'll be very honest with you. I'm not talking. I'll not talk from any point of view from any community or something. IEM Coding, be it IEM Coding Club or any coding community in the college, it is a community that looks for you have people similar to you. Today I've explained to you so much about blockchain. Tomorrow you might have some sort of doubt. If you think over it or something, then you will have this community there present at all times in the college. You'll have members there. You have groups, you have WhatsApp groups, everything is there. So you can come and clear your doubts. It's a community, peer-to-peer contacts are here. Right?
I got it.
Nothing is paid here. Nothing is paid here. Everything is free. We believe in free education supremacy.
और just to think, chat box में आज बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है कि if it is found out that 4/5 are same and one is tempered, what happens to the particular tempered block?
Okay, so about this we will be talking not today. Before that we need to explain to you the Byzantine fault tolerance thing.
Yeah.
BFT.
Very
so
good.
After BFT protocol, after that we'll surely it will be very clear to you guys after that. So I think I have already wasted too much of time. Are you guys actually enjoying? Please tell me honestly. Okay.
I am enjoying. I am enjoying it.
And acha, just a thing. Can you let me share just a thing? Do you know about the metaverse concept? Actually, first year students, guys.
Yes, and very little, but yeah.
Do you know about the graphical interface, the GUI interface, the 3D AR VR technology, which are metaverse already used right now?
Yeah.
You are aware of this?
Augmented reality, huh? You mean AR?
Acha, just a thing. Raihan, please share the screen of the decentralized and sandbox so that the people get बहुत मजा आएगा भाई उससे शो करने में एक बार शो करो पहले
मेटावर्स एंड ब्लॉकचेन वाला स्लाइड
हाँ डिसेंट्रल नेट में गूगल के सर्च करो डिसेंट्रलैंड मैं बाद में बोलूँगा
जस्ट अ मिनट I don't know if it works this way.
Acha, someone in the chat box have asked what is proof of stake.
Consensus protocols. Please don't interact. Don't tell this person right now because bootcamp will be.
All right.
So please start exploring and click the start exploring and guess से join होगा, ठीक है? Please click the start exploring.
See, before going into the metaverse thing, let me just quickly tell you about the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 thing. Web 1, you basically know, right? It is a content served from a server's file system. Those are the static pages only, no dynamic content, no dynamic user input, nothing. Then came in the Web 2 era, where you have this user input and everything is very dynamic, and there's a client server side architecture and stuff, right? And then came in the Web 3 concept. Basically, Web 3, the key points of the Web 3 is that there's no central server, it's decentralized. There's this metaverse concept, whole metaverse thing is there. And then there's this digital assets thing. That means any digital asset will be very unique to you. That means it's, no one can steal any digital asset from you. Okay, you mint some digital asset. How NFT works, you basically mint an NFT. So that NFT now belongs to you. It will be in your wallet. Okay, no one can steal it. That is how this thing works. And evolution of web we have already done. Journey to blockchain development. You can already, obviously, blockchain development is in boom right now. And right now, I tell this to every other person I meet. Right now, it is the correct time. It is the right time to learn about blockchain if you are interested. Because in the coming years, blockchain is going to boom. There's no coming back from there.
Okay, just interrupting slightly. In the bootcamp, will you all also conduct data science classes? Because even data science is going to boom in the coming years.
See, IEM Coding Club has many domains. It has machine learning, it has app development, web development. Data science comes under machine learning. So not under machine learning, but it goes hand by hand, right?
It's a part of
don't
machine
worry.
learning.
You guys have just joined. It's just been 1 week. Don't panic so much. We will be introducing you to every single domain, and then based on your interest, you can join the boot camps of whatever domains you want.
Okay, thank you.
And we will take the offline sessions also into our college. To the time of the college, we will take the offline sessions also. So that the live interaction will be going on. Face to face.
So Prajakta, just can you explain to them all these terminologies that I might have missed?
Okay, no issue, no issue. So basically, this is the introductory session, and already Rohan had covered everything, norms and all. So basically, this terminology we already covered. And address is nothing by the blockchain address, which I've already Rohan has said. This is blockchain has own, each block has own particular address and consists of previous block address. So basically, in Web 1, actually, if you aware of that Web 1 version, Web 2 version, then you will anchor tag, URL कॉपी करके पेस्ट करना है, URL से पेज रीडायरेक्ट होता है, ऐसे कुछ होता है. लेकिन ब्लॉक से ब्लॉक रीडायरेक्ट कैसे होता है? ये तो नहीं हो सकता है ना ब्लॉक से ब्लॉक रीडायरेक्ट, क्योंकि इसमें कोई HTTP URL रिक्वेस्ट नहीं है. इसमें ब्लॉक से ब्लॉक एड्रेस, जैसे एक ब्लॉक और अदर ब्लॉक से जो रिलेटेड होगा, उस टाइम से ब्लॉक एड्रेस का जरूरत है. We need block address to implement a proper blockchain. That's the main address which I've already used. So basically, the address is very important in blockchain. If address is already changed by any other hashing or other thing, the subsequent block's address also be changed. Okay. So the next time is the block ciphers. So block ciphers. What do you mean by the ciphers? Ciphers is nothing but the encryption key, not the decryption key. It's basically an encryption key, and some of the proper algorithm rules are there to convert a plain string to an cryptographic encrypted string, like the hello world or something. IEM Coding Club that already is mentioned, that means SH56 or Anders Brown sort जो link में भेजा chat box में, उसमें ट्रांसफर करने के बाद उसमें क्लिक एक पर्टिकुलर टेक्स्ट और स्ट्रिंग डालने के बाद वो 64 32 ऐसे अकॉर्डिंग टू द एल्गोरिथम वैल्यू 64 कैरेक्टर्स 32 कैरेक्टर्स का एक स्ट्रिंग बन जाता है. तो ऐसे ही साइफर जनरेट होता है. साइफर्स इज यूनिक फॉर ईच एंड एवरी टेक्स्ट मैसेजेस. So that's the main thing which I've already covered. And the next is the blockchain height. So blockchain height, you hope you know that each blockchain is consists of 3 data. So four data: blockchain height, block head, block data, block addresses consists of two parts, and Markle root. Markle root is a kind of minor algorithm. It's not a part. It's we will, if we take another session on the boot camp, then you can understand what is the Markle root actually. So basically, the block height is nothing but, so when the blockchain, for instance, the particular height 0, when the starting block, the blockchain height will be 0. But when you progress another, like block 1, second block height will be 1, third block height will be 2. But initial address, that's like the array element, consider the array elements. Initial address is 0, but first address will be 1, second address will be 2, ऐसे करके बढ़ जाता है. तो ऐसे ही indexing होगा. Initial height of the particular initial block is 0. Then propagating one block, height will be 1. Next will be height will be 2, like that. So block ciphers and ciphers are same. This is a repeating sections we have already covered. So consensus process. So consensus probably they already covered. Already some people are asking about the proof of stack, proof of work, like that. So this is the consensus mechanism. Consensus are the consensus mechanism like that. When we are going for the peer-to-peer network, so who the particular peer who make decisions for maintaining and distributing the ledger. Distributing the ledger means the block which is transferred from one side to another side, like that. So these types of maintaining the distributed ledger used to achieve the accord the ledger's contents and consensus. So some algorithm होता है proof of stack and proof of use, bitcoins, blockchains. हर चीज को भी अलग अलग से ब्लॉकचेन का एल्गोरिथम से इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है, उसके ऊपर से कॉन्सेंसस प्रोटोकॉल्स बने हुए हैं. ठीक है, बाद में जब बूट कैंप हम कराएंगे तो उसमें समझ में आ जाएगा सारी चीज. So gas, what is gas? Gas is basically nothing but a very good concept. Like if we consider the Ethereum virtual machine, so each action needs like when we do make any changes or any updates into our growing database, like in blockchains. So basically, if we change or updates any tables on the particular growing database that for any transactions or like that. So any action needs to incorporate a gas limit and feed that that is willing to pay for the per gas. Gas is nothing but जब मैंने मान लो एक चीज कि हम AWS पे कोई वेबसाइट होस्ट करना चाहता हूँ, ठीक है, वेब होस्ट करना चाहता हूँ, उसके लिए वेबसाइट कोई डोमेन के लिए कोई चीज खरीद करना है, कोई चीज को डोमेन के लिए कोई कुछ कॉस्टिंग पड़ेगा. ऐसे ही होता है गैस में. गैस इज नथिंग बट ए पाइपलाइन जिसके थ्रू हमका ब्लॉकचेन का डिजिटल एसेट एंड क्रिप्टोकरेंसी विल बी ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम वन ब्लॉक टू अनदर ब्लॉक, and for that reason the gas will paid for some costings. So this is the main thing. And if you discuss the remix online editorial platform, then gas will be understood properly. So liquidity is nothing but a asset is converting how much smoothly an asset is converting into a cryptocurrency. ठीक है, मतलब एक हार्ड कैश, लाइक वो जो बोल रहा है रियल एस्टेट इज हार्ड कैश, तो इसको हमको क्रिप्टो करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करना है. द ईज टू कन्वर्ट ए हार्ड asset to a digital asset, that is the liquidity. How to convert a digital asset, hard asset to a digital asset, that's our this is our liquidification process, and it's not a matter of joke. We need Blender to solve this problem. So that's the main thing. And then again the block ciphers again it's repeating. So we have already covered the Markle and hash tree, in which every leaf node is labeled with the hash of the data block, and every non-leaf node is labeled with the cryptographic hash, the labeled with the child. So this is the basic terminologies. And again we are going for the tools which is very much required for the blockchain development and blockchain engineers also. तो थोड़ा नीचे करो स्लाइड को एक बार यहाँ. हाँ, तो एक्चुअली क्या है रिएक्ट. अच्छा किसी को भी इसमें रिएक्ट जेएस और नेट जेएस का लाइब्रेरी से मतलब पता है? हेलो,
सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू प्राजिक भैया, एक मिनट. एक चीज पूछना था मुझे सबसे. I just wanted to ask something. You guys are pretty clear with Web3 and Web2 concept, right? Just give me a quick raise of hands. Wow.
Where could you explain that part again?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, actually someone in the chat box has asked that when the world is heading towards green energy And then why are we heading towards such an energy consuming blockchain technology? Actually, this question is like a very good question, because we all know that blockchain requires a lot of gas fees and it is actually consuming the energy. Like, this can be the bad part of blockchain, and this is the reason why Ethereum has switched to proof of stake. And now the proof of stake and the consensus algorithms we all will learn in the boot camps. So that is why I'll teach everything to you people, like why Ethereum launched few months ago, why Ethereum has switched itself to proof of stake. So continue, Rihan.
Yeah. So you guys have understand this thing, right? That the blockchain works in the Web3 space. That means the Web3 is basically peer-to-peer connection. The peer-to-peer network stuff is known as Web3. There is no centralized server where all the clients are connected, right? Web3 is, there is no central server at all. All the peers are internally connected, right? So can you guys tell me if blockchain is a subset of Web3 or Web3 is a subset of blockchain? That means, does Web3 come under blockchain or blockchain
I
comes
can say
under?
Web3 uses utilizes these newer concepts of blockchain. Then there were two more. I thought.
Powered by the blockchain.
Yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
can you give me an example of a software that does not run on blockchain, but it is a Web3 software? Any software, think of it. It's a software that I think 140 out of 145 of us might have used in our life at least once. Think of it. It's a very common software. It's illegal in India, but still people use it. The first word
Torrent.
comes to mind. Tell me.
Torrent or something.
Yeah. So you see, when you download something from torrent, it shows connected to so many peers, seeding, right? That is how torrent works. Torrent also works on the Web3 space. It does not have any central server. It connects with the peers, and then you download the whatever you want to download. So torrent has
Actually,
been, go ahead.
Actually, the torrent is obtained from the P2P network protocol. Like, why people say that blockchain has been. Aditya, can you please unmute yourself?
I'm muting them all.
Okay. Actually, P2P, why people say that blockchain has obtained its protocol from P2P network, because what happens in torrent is that what used to happen in torrent is that people previously, when there was no movie halls, or when there was no Netflix and Amazon, then we used to get movies from torrent, and people used to upload their movies or whatever songs, like songs PK also. People used to upload the movies and songs in torrent, and from torrent the people who are offline, they used to download it. So the blockchain also works like that. Like, it is a peer-to-peer network, but if some people are offline and some people are online, so people who are offline, they don't need to worry about it. Like, people who are online, they can directly send their messages, or they can directly do their transaction via that protocol. So that is why we say that torrent is a subversion of blockchain.
Yeah. So after this, I think it will be best if Suchita Di goes ahead with all these platforms and IDs, because she is best with all the,
I have one question related to blockchain. It is said, I read that Brave software, that new Brave, browser, that it was
Yes.
recently that uses blockchain.
Yes, you have to connect your MetaMask with that. Like, if you have a MetaMask account, then that is the practical portion. So if you have a MetaMask account, you can what MetaMask has is, like, they have this hash, okay, and when you log in into MetaMask, you have this ID which only you need to keep it. You don't need to share it with anyone. So recently there are some scams also which is going with MetaMask, but now it's okay. So when I'll teach you about MetaMask in bootcamp, then I'll teach you how to do it in the Brave software. Like, you have to download an extension of MetaMask in the Brave software. So I'll teach you that.
Okay, okay.
जस्ट थिंग कि देखो जो वेब वो एक्चुअली किया है, वेब 2 में जब हम जब भूल जाओ अभी ब्लॉकचेन को, तो अभी वेब 2 में क्या थे, व्हेन वी आर शॉपिंग फ्रॉम अमेज़न एंड फ्लिपकार्ट, तो वेब व्हेन वी आर शॉपिंग फ्रॉम अमेज़न एंड फ्लिपकार्ट, देन वी हैव टू इंटरैक्ट विद द वेब ब्राउज़र बाय एग्जीक्यूटिंग इट। अब हमको रिक्वेस्ट भेजना है, उसके हिसाब से रिस्पॉन्स आता है, उसके बाद हम एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, प्रोडक्ट ढूंढना है, उसको खरीद करना है, ऐसे कुछ। लेकिन when we are going from the web 3, we have to interact with our browser like that by the transaction. That's why the Brave wallet or MetaMask, which are Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari, cannot do the same thing, the same purpose for solving the issue, to interact with the browser and to the other people in the other hand, and they are both using the same browser, and where we can use the MetaMask as a browser, and via that particular MetaMask we can use the another person on another hand, so that we browser will be a communication media. That's why MetaMask and Brave wallet is so important and so much popular in this era right now. So that's the main difference between the Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox and MetaMask वाला Brave wallet ऐसे कुछ, ठीक है? तो यही main difference है इसका.
The Brave also actually uses Solana. Okay.
Yes, the Brave is now using the Solana.
Okay, someone here asked a few minutes ago that if we are moving towards a green world, then why are we using blockchain at all? Suchita, the answer that very
I have
well.
also answered, yeah.
Yeah, Suchita, the answered that very well. But just to I'll like to add one point. See, this is the reason why we are trying to move away from the Bitcoin blockchain particularly, because it consumes energy that is incomparable, unmatchable at all. Like Bitcoin blockchain consumes a lot of energy, but at the same time we are actually moving towards the green world. Agreed with that, but at the same time technology is also advancing. Our privacy also needs to be taken care of. Security, like environment and technology, they don't stand on the same level, but they go hand by hand. They need to go hand by hand. You just cannot be very considerate about the technology, otherwise then you will not be able to advance in the technology space, right? There are many examples of it, not to mention, but still just to add a point, I told that. And right now I think
here a misconception can be generated. Here misconception: Bitcoin is not like a blockchain. Actually, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency and blockchain is blockchain. So blockchain is a basically distributed database. Actually, Bitcoin में क्या होता है? Bitcoin is a मैंने anonymity जिसको कहते हैं, anonymity को maintain करता है, लेकिन blockchain is about the transparency. That's the main difference. So when we generating a cryptocurrency like the Dogecoin, do you know the Dogecoin? To the particular previously Elon Musk के पहले भी ये हुआ था the Dogecoin. So when we are generating the cryptocurrency, then lot of energy consumption will be there. So if we consider then this type of green energy and green technology, in that time we are if we consider the generating the cryptocurrency, that lot of energy consumption will be going on. But main difference is the Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency and blockchain is the distributed database, growing database. So don't make any type of misconception over that. Okay. So बाद में boot camp में आरो सब details में पता चलेगा, लेकिन Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It's a little bit different architecture from the blockchain. Okay, that's the thing.
Project Bhaiya, can you go ahead with this slide? Just
Okay. So basically, basically the three things are there. So remix, if we can look in local machine and web-based browser, दोनों में हम कोड कर सकते हैं blockchain का. तो basically blockchain का है web-based IDs and desktop ID. Web-based ID we can use Remix. So please redirect to the Remix site please once again, so that the UI can be clear to everyone. So Rayhan, please search for Remix ID Google.
Yeah, sure. Also, many of you are asking for the attendance link in the chat box. Attendance link has already been posted, and just for the sake of saying, if you're only considerate about the attendance, then just ask us, we'll give the attendance link straight away. We are trying to keep it very simple and trying to keep it fun so that you guys at the end of the day learn something and go back. Attendance won't matter. Nobody will see that you attended a session on blockchain, but if you know something about blockchain, that will matter there. If someone asks you, do you know what is how does nonce works or something like that, then you will be at least be able to say that yes, it works this way. I know that. I know you guys have just joined in right now, but the college has started. It's been only 1 week, I think, but just letting you guys know.
Roshan is asking about the attacks of the blockchain. उसके पहले blockchain forge, blockchain fork इसको जानना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, उसके बाद mitigation, attack, man in the middle, MEM attack, man in the middle, ऐसे कुछ आएगा. So it's a great thing and great introduction. So about the attack in the blockchains. So let's move into the UI of the remix ID. Actually, remix ID में जो file introductions, file बनाने का start, वो तो remix compiler. Left जो मेनू है उसमें जाओ एक बार, राइहान. लेफ्ट मेनू, लेफ्ट से एकदम.
Actually, I joined from my iPad, तो हम क्या स्क्रीन स्टॉप करके लैपटॉप से ज्वाइन कर ले?
नहीं वो दिक्कत की बात नहीं. अच्छा तुम इसको बोलो दो. एक्चुअली रिडायरेक्ट में तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. वो स्क्रीन शो रहा है ना, लोडिंग.
क्या करें अभी?
ठीक है चलो ना. रेमिक्स वीएम एक्चुअली वो जो पार्ट है ना, एनवायरनमेंट, अकाउंट, गैस, इसको थोड़ा डिस्कस करना पड़ते हैं तो यूआई के बारे में पता चलेगा जो स्टूडेंट्स है. तो ठीक है चलो फिर. एक्चुअली ये जो है हमारा फाइल, क्रिएटिंग फाइल, तो इसमें क्या है, .ts. हम जावास्क्रिप्ट यूज करेंगे इधर. जावास्क्रिप्ट यूज करेंगे. क्यों? The TS or TypeScript is more difficult than JavaScript. We have to be simple in our code. So we have to use the JavaScript runtime. So basically, the total remix is based on the EVM or Ethereum virtual machine, and the smart contracts. Contracts मतलब क्या है? एक दूसरे को एक वादा दे रहा है कि हमको ये तरीके से ये काम करना है, and it's signed by government. तो सेम चीज हमको करना है via कोड. एक स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर कोड लिखना है. कोड इज मैनिपुलेटेड बाय टू एजेंट्स एंड concerned by the two agents. Okay, so concerned by the two agents. So basically, these smart contracts are written in Solidity language. So इसके extension होता है .sol करके. तो basically storage.sol, owner.sol, ballot. Actually एक sample project है e-voting system. ई-वोटिंग सिस्टम का सैंपल प्रोजेक्ट है ये, ballot.sol. उसमें सारा वोट, एक्चुअली ब्लॉकचेन बेस्ड वोटिंग सिस्टम का सारा वोट्स इधर स्टोर होगा. तुम जब C++ में एक थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा तो इसमें पता चलेगा. इसमें एक स्ट्रक्चर यूनियन के थोड़ा गेम है लिटिल. तो स्ट्रक्ट वोट करके उसका डेटा टाइप मेंशन है यूविंड बुल एंड एड्रेस एंड फिर से यूविंड लेगा. तो बहुत सारे सॉलिडिटी का खुद का डेटाबेस होता है, खुद डेटा टाइप्स होते हैं. So actually Solidity is a combination of C++ and JavaScript. And if you know the C++ and JavaScript well, so you can understand the Solidity very properly. So basically mapping address and all the functions and the code I will not explain right now. So basically this is the contracts which have already written into this workspace, and there will be a scripts. So here the scripts is written in TypeScript, but we will use the JavaScript to write it. ठीक है. तो टेस्ट केस, टेस्ट फोल्डर में जाओ एक बार रेहान. द टेस्ट फोल्डर में storage.test.js. हाँ इधर जाओ. हाँ इसमें क्या है, इसमें हमको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का कंडीशन देना है. await, if you know the JavaScript properly, then promise, catch, async, await, ऐसी कुछ फंक्शन रहेगा JavaScript में. ऐसे ही कुछ हमको कॉन्फर्मेशन देना है, हमको कंडीशन डालना है कि कैसे कैसे हमको टोटल कंडीशंस को लिखना है, जैसे कि एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट असली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कन्वर्ट हो जाए. ठीक है, लाइक दैट कि हर महीने का फर्स्ट दिन में हमारा जो सर्विस लेते हैं, लाइक हमारा इलेक्ट्रिक बिल्स, ऑटोमेटिकली इलेक्ट्रिक बिल विल बी पेड, और हमारा जो ये होता है साइबर कैफे होता है, साइबर कैफे में हम काम करते हैं तो साइबर कैफे हर महीने में एक फीस होता है, हमारे ट्यूशन फी होते हैं, ऑटोमेटिकली जनरेट होकर सेंड हो जाते हैं। ऐसे करके हम जो सिस्टम बनाते हैं ना, तो उसमें अच्छा होता है। तो ऐसे ही एक कंडीशन डालना है कि हम कैसे कैसे ये चीज कर सकते यूजिंग दैट test.js फाइल। इफ यू डू द जावास्क्रिप्ट और रास्ट, there will be a package.json or cargo packages will be there. The same thing in here is storage.test.js. So this is the main thing. And the third point is the Solidity compiler. Please go in the Solidity compiler right now.
Solidity compiler is open. खुला है.
Yeah, so the third one, at the leftmost part का third one, last से again. हाँ इधर, ठीक है, ओके ओके, the screen is loading right. Yeah. So basically ना थोड़ा ऊपर करो एक्चुअली। नहीं, हाँ अभी आया। एक्चुअली ये Solidity compiler, you can change the Solidity version and Solidity compiler in the community group. There is a drop down menu 0.8.7 and commit, ऐसे हमको लेटेस्ट लेना है। एक्चुअली अभी लेटेस्ट है 0.8.7, so it's the latest, it's the 8.17 is the latest one, but हमको लेटेस्ट लेना है to compile everything। ठीक है, हमको ऑटो कंपाइलर को ऑन करना है। इसे फ्रॉम द मदर सेटिंग इट इज right now it is off, but we have to turn on right now. It will be turned on later, and then we have to compile and run the script. ठीक है, after running the script, the storage.test.js जो file है, it will be updated. Okay, it will be updated and forked with the main project, so that the new growing database will be updated in every second, every time. So that's the main key concept of the Solidity compiler. And last में जाओ थोड़ा एक बार, इथेरियम का वर्चुअल मशीन गैस लिमिट। हाँ, इधर क्या है एक्चुअली, ये जो अकाउंट है, ये अकाउंट में इफ यू यूज द गैनाशे एक्चुअली, अच्छा just a simple thing, how many people are using the XAMPP server? Do you know about the XAMPP server?
No.
Do you know about the node server?
No, these are new for the first time.
अच्छा एक्चुअली
No, no,
जस्ट
no.
अच्छा जस्ट थिंक कि लोकल होस्ट के बारे में सुना है? लोकल होस्ट,
No.
HTML पेज तुम बनाए थे एक बार? हाँ, सो 127, या दिस इज द लोकल होस्ट एड्रेस। जब हम HTML स्टैटिक पेज बनाते हैं, उसको रन करते हैं यूआई देखने के लिए, उस टाइम में लोकल होस्ट में वो रन होते हैं। ठीक है, लेकिन ब्लॉकचेन जो क्रिप्टो करेंसी बेस्ड और ब्लॉकचेन बेस्ड एप्लीकेशन होगा, उसमें लोकल होस्ट नहीं होते। हमको वो चीज लोकल होस्ट के जैसा ही कुछ अकाउंट से, कुछ होस्टिंग प्लेटफॉर्म से रन करना पड़ेगा। दैट इज गैनाशे। You can Google it and can search for Ganache. You can find 100 Ethereums per accounts. मतलब you can find 10 accounts, and in each account consists of 100 ethers, 100 Ethereums, 100 ethers. So each account से तुमको एक्सेस करना है, वो अकाउंट का जो आईडी होगा, वो आईडी को इसमें डालना है अकाउंट को। रेमिक्स में बाय डिफॉल्ट अकाउंट आईडी लेते हैं, लेकिन तो अब तुम VS कोड और अपना लोकल मशीन में काम करोगे, तो उसमें गैनाशे का अपना खुद का अकाउंट आईडी डालना होगा। और एनवायरमेंट रेमिक्स VM से हमको EVM इथेरियम वर्चुअल मशीन का सेट करना है। तो अनदर क्वेश्चन इज कमिंग, तो व्हाइल कनेक्टिंग द क्वेश्चन बाद में लेते हैं। तो गैस लिमिट क्या होता है? हर पाइपलाइन से नंबर ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन हमको फिक्स करना है। इसमें शायद 30 लाख का गैस लिमिट है कि वन ट्रांजैक्शन टू अनदर ट्रांजैक्शन, वन एसेट टू अनदर एसेट से कन्वर्शन का गैस लिमिट इधर है। तो हमको ये चेंज करना पड़ेगा टू पर्टिकुलर लिमिट कि कैसे एक टाइम में हम एक डिजिटल एसेट को पाइपलाइन से कितना टाइम डिजिटल एसेट को कन्वर्ट कर सकते। ठीक है, ये हमारा गैस लिमिट होगा। वो सारे चीज बूट कैम्प में पता चलेगा। तो एक्चुअली WEI is the unit of the particular contracts. ठीक है, we can change the contracts units also. So that's the main portion, the remix, and we will start go for the boot camp, coming boot camp in remix ID also. So this is the main portions, and deploy and transaction. The deploying portion is the accounts portion, and we will use the Ganashi platform. After that, after checking everything, we deploy it to the MetaMask and Ethereum, so that as a blockchain based app, it can't be published into the Google Play Store or like that. But we have to deploy it into another a particular blockchain based blockchain based cloud platform like that, because see the MetaMask and Ethereum are also present there. So we have to deploy our application into our particular blockchain based server. So that's the main thing. We have already covered about all things of our remix, and when we attempt the bootcamp, all things will be covered very clearly. So please go back to the slide again, Raihan. So basically, the when we use the desktop sites, so we have to install Solidity extensions, DFI, decentralized fundamental app in DFI extension को हमको install करना है, Viper extension को install करना है, Ethereum install करना है. ये सारी चीज हमको local environmental setup हमको भी दिखाना है, तो कैसे वो चीज करना है. तो जो पीपल जावा जानते हैं, C++ जानते हैं, पाइथन जानते हैं, तो पाइथन बेस्ड एनवायरनमेंट सेटअप के लिए जब तुम ब्राउनी देखा था, जावा बेस्ड एनवायरनमेंट सेटअप के लिए ईपीडस ऐसे कुछ होगा. ईवीएम बेस्ड सेटअप इज सेल्फ रेमिक्स इटसेल्फ इज ईवीएम बेस्ड सेटअप. सो प्लीज Raihan, can you search Google in ethereum.org? Can you please Google it, ethereum.org? उसका डॉक्यूमेंट पे जाओ एक बार, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पे. या डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, हाँ उसके डेवलपर्स डेवलपर्स, हाँ अभी हाँ यही है. तो इसमें सारी चीज ऑल डिटेल्स पे क्लियर हो जाता है. ठीक है, इसका भी खुद का एक ट्यूटोरियल है. यू कैन सी दैट, यू कैन सी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन वेब 2 एंड वेब 3, व्हाट इज द डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड एप्लीकेशंस, व्हाट इज द एक्जैक्टली इथर मींस, सारी चीज इसमें बोल इसमें सारी चीज मेंशन्ड है. ठीक है, so actually this is the core concept which are already covered, and how we set up our local environment in our own desktop machines. All things will be covered, and you can go through this documentation portions also. So this is all about our session, and Suchita or Lohan, please can you please add something so that we can wrap up? Right.
Okay.
We are well
Yeah,
and
Rehan,
good
go
to
on.
wrap up right now. We'll just start the Q&A session if they have any, because it was an interactive one. So I don't think many of them might have any. So if you guys have any questions regarding anything, just shoot it. Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
No,
Rehan,
this
you
is
are
not
audible.
but no.
Actually, a question is coming to the chat box. So while connecting Python with SQL, we use host equal to localhost as connecting address. अच्छा, now is equal to localhost. हाँ, ये पता है कि लिखना है to run the server. It's all from our side, and another question is coming. Is proof of stake is same as proof of work? So this is again the consensus protocols consensus. So it will be discussing on the coming bootcamps, and please Suchita can ask something, can tell something of this.
Hello. Yeah, actually, proof of stake and proof of work, all these come under the consensus algorithms. Like for the consensus algorithms, you have proof of work, you have proof of elapsed time, you have proof of stake, and you have delegated proof of stake, and also you have proof of authority. And then Rehan was telling that you have to know the PBFT also, that is the practical Byzantine fault tolerance. Now, if you want to have a summary of proof of stake, well, proof of stake is like the consensus algorithm for the peer coin. Okay, like peer coin was established in 2012, and it is like if you have the concept of forgers or validators, that is why we were telling that it will be better if we explain you during the bootcamp, because in bootcamp we will actually explain you what is forgers and validators, because in the proof of stake the mining nodes are called the validators and or the forgers. So basically a forger has to commit some of his or her stake of cryptocurrency in the network as collateral for running in for which a chance to validate the transaction. So it will be better if that is why it will be better if we explain you in the boot camp. And if you want to have a summary of proof of work is a well-known consensus algorithm which was actually implemented in the Bitcoin in 2009. And several nodes of this distributed ledger were called miners, which was competed to solve a complicated mathematical problem that has the cryptographic hash algorithm. So any more questions?
Okay, I think we are well and good to end the meeting right here
Yeah,
because
we're good to go right now because and it's a very good session, and a lot of participants are interacting with us, and yeah, we are a lot more enjoying this session. That's the main thing. We have a lot of enjoyment in this session. So basically, a lot of questions are coming into the mind to the audience that were from first year and second year students. All will be cleared into the bootcamp sessions when it will be 3 days, 4 days bootcamp, and it will be good for also we can hands on. We will be doing that, but hands-on projects and hands-on like we use the handle platforms in our own hands. How to use the platform, how to use the how to write the code, how to implement the code, and how to deploy our application into the server. So that will be very much interesting, and blockchain is very much interesting thing. And if please Rehan show the data like, graphical interface of those applications so that the people it's a mind-blowing effect. It will be a mind-blowing effect. Please show the graphical interface.
graphical interface of what? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Decentralized sandbox
Okay.
already given. देखो.
Okay, so the session is done, right?
Yeah, yeah. And now
All right.
Bhavya is telling something.
Yes, so thank you guys. It was a very
Decentral,
interactive session. Thank you, the hosts, Prazak, Rehan, and Suchita. Guys, if you have any more questions, you can hop on to the group. And I think that we are done for the day. And I think that we will follow the same legacy and we will continue to host some boot camps. So if you guys are interested, you can just okay. So you can just hop onto the group and you can just ask for them. Right. So we will stop the recording.
Recording stopped.
Right. So if you want to leave, you can. And we are here for 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, you can ask.
Bhavya, someone did not get the attendance link in the
Right.
chat box. Okay.
Guys, we expect that you are not just for the attendance. If you are for the attendance, you can DM me. I can send you the link. You don't have to put in so much of efforts.
Hello, Rihan, are you there?